on a Friday at Michigan State. I know you were at Oakland University's Midnight Madness because your son plays for the Grizzlies.
Yes, my son Drew, he's a sophomore there, so my heart was split in two places,
Yeah.
So yeah, I went there to watch his Midnight Madness. But
Was that fun? What did they do?
oh yeah, it was really exciting. What they did was, they introduced mostly of all of their athletic teams, all the way from the swimming,
Oh, that's neat.
tennis, golf, and everybody. And then when it came down to the end, they introduced the basketball teams, both women's and men's, and then actually after that, believe it or not, they had a full practice.
Isn't that something?
They cleared out the arena, and the men's basketball team had a full practice.
Wow,
so,
right after it.
yeah.
They come to Michigan State usually once a year and play. It's an entertaining game because Oakland's coach is he's entertaining to watch.
Yeah, Greg Campy, he's very, very entertaining. Right, but what you see is what you get with him. He's a very good coach. This year's game will be played at the Palace of Auburn Hills.
Oh, cool! A home game then for the Grizzlies, sort of.
Yeah,
in a big stage.
Yeah, just right down the road. So
yeah,
it's been an interesting home series because usually Oakland University has local players that play Division I basketball on their team. Last year they had Jonathan Jones, who played at Ole Miss, and Derek Nelson, who played at Lansing Everett, who won a state championship with Everett in 2004.
Ah, see that? You're recruiting in Michigan State's background here, in their backyard.
Yeah.
You have a son that's coming to Michigan State eventually, too, right?
Yes. He's a junior this year. His name's Denzel. And, he's committed verbally to coach his own the Spartan basketball program.
Wow, that's got to
in August, so he will be coming.
Imagine that. It's got to make you proud. And I guess Susie Merchant at Midnight Madness here, the Michigan State women's basketball coach, came out in a race car driver's suit because their Final Four is in Indy. And Tom Izzo came out in a space suit because the Final Four this year for the men is in Houston. And then the big surprise was they brought out Gerard Butler from the movie 300, with the Spartans. Do we have a little audio of that, Tony Cuthbert, please?
Hey, well, the first thing I'm going to say is, I don't want to yell at the lightest wrong ever, but Spartan!
There he goes. That was at Midnight Madness on Friday night at the Breslin Center. Greg Johnson is on the line with us, too, from the Grand Rapids Press. He covers the Spartans. Good morning to you, Greg.
Good morning, Mike. How are you today?
Great. Am I going too far when I say that Michigan State's now playing for the national championship?
Yeah, you might be jumping the gun a little bit. There's still 5 games to go, and they haven't left the state of Michigan yet. So, I don't mean to temper enthusiasm, but they still have a lot of tough games to go.
Well, if it was a billiards game, you'd like your chances right now. You got 7 of them down and only 5 to go, and obviously the Iowa game's going to be tough, and I suppose playing at Penn State in whatever weather that's going to be in the last weekend in November could be tricky. But the rest of it, the Golden Gophers are coming in here. They're obviously very beatable. Would it be the Spartans beating themselves? Is that what they have to worry about for the most part now?
That's part of it, but you got to remember Northwestern's 5-1, and also has maybe the best passing offense in the Big Ten. So I think you can find danger in every game actually, and you never know when injuries will lurk up. You never know who's going to get in trouble. You just never know. So you take what this team has done really well is they've been really mature about it. Is take each game individually and approach it as a new challenge each week and it's cliche a little bit, but they really have to continue to do that. That's critical, and that's maturity, and that's what Coach has been talking about. So as long as they continue to do that, I think they'll be okay. But then they are. In the end, you play for the national championship. You don't play for it in week 8. You play for it at the end. But you have to get there, and you have to get there one step at a time.
Well, having said that, all you have to do is look at the games this weekend to see that anything can happen. When you look at teams like Nebraska losing, probably a lot of people didn't figure Wisconsin was going to beat Ohio State like that. Arkansas got beaten. There were enough upsets to remind everybody that they do happen.
Oh, yeah, and South Carolina, which knocked off number 1 last week, turned around and got beat by Kentucky. So anything can happen. It's really, you have to be really careful, and you have to play good football every week, and you have to stay, relatively injury-free. There's so many things involved in football, and so it's a little bit like billiards. One bad shot can ruin the table run.
Yeah, and so what do you like? What did you see? You were there. I see Coach D'Antonio made it down onto the field at the end of the game. That made everybody happy.
Yeah, you got a nice little standing ovation, I guess, going through the crowd. So that's really nice. And and he joked that if it was good they had a lead, because it might not have been such a great ovation if they were making everybody nervous. So he's kept his sense of humor intact. He understands what it is, and that it's a body of work each week. And and fans are fickle, though. They'll be your best friend 1 minute and be really mad at you the next. So he understands that. He's gone through quite a bit here as coach, and they're just in a good spot. I think they know themselves, and it should be fun the rest of the way. I think the one thing they have done is provide a great level of entertainment and put a real buzz at the campus, and that's wonderful.
Coach Carlton, Valentine, Tom Izzo this year coming off of that odd situation back in June where he was maybe going to leave and go to the NBA. How do you think he and the team will respond now? Will he have a sort of a renewed vigor to go out and do it?
Well, I think Coach Izzo is always going to motivate his team regardless of the situation in June. The one thing he's great at is getting his teams ready to play. He'll make sure that they're mentally ready, they're physically ready. I went to their practice after the game on Saturday night. They look game ready right now. They're working on defense, and those guys look ready to go right now. So I think that Izzo, man, that's one of the best things he does is get his team ready to play.
Yeah, I heard an interview with, I forget which player it was, and apparently the coach meets with them in the offseason individually. And I forget who it was, but he said he was expecting to get a good pat on the back after making it to the Final Four, and he got 10 things from Tom Izzo that he should improve upon. He doesn't let up off the gas, does he?
No, I mean, and that's why he's successful, because he never rests on his laurels. He's never satisfied. He never gets complacent about what he's doing with his basketball team. He's always trying to get his guys better, on the court, off the court, in the classroom, everything, So that's
they love him when they leave, though, don't they?
Well, yeah, they because he prepares them for life. Life isn't fair. He lets them know every day in practice.
Now, you're teaching, in addition to coaching high school, you're teaching at the Michigan Athletic Club, individuals, groups? How does it work?
Yeah, I'm doing, my official title is I'm the basketball training and development coordinator. And
Great.
I work with, a lot of youth and trying to help them develop their games, because what happens during the season, you don't have time to work on your game because the coach, and I'm a high school coach, I'm working with the team.
Yeah.
I'm working with the team. So, I'm helping kids get better individually, one-on-one, two-on-two, those kind of things. So that's kind of the things I'm doing over at the Michigan Athletic Club.
Amanda, you never believe this, but he gave my son Harrison, who's 13, just a 30-second shooting lesson because we weren't really sure how to do it. He made the very first free throw after just getting the instruction. It was like magic. It was really something else.
Maybe I need to go to the athletic club.
Yeah, just like that. And I saw a kid practicing the other day there. He had 2 basketballs.
Yeah.
And he was dribbling them about that far off the floor in rapid succession. You're like, da-da-da-da-da-da-da. And one in each arm, and he went all the way down the court and all the way back.
Yeah.
And then he did 2 balls between his legs, back and forth, all the way down and all the way back. And I said to Harrison, no, that's what you have to do to be good. And this is your point.
Yeah.
A lot of time on your own.
Yeah, players get better in the off season, and teams get better during the season. So, the player development nowadays is probably very, very important. We spend a lot of time with 2-ball dribble because you get to develop both hands at the same time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then, of course, Tom Izzo would preach that, too, because he plays the accordion. He's got to use both hands at the same time, too, right?
Yeah, he does. Yeah.
Well, we'll see you at the Michigan Athletic Club, and anybody can come and get coaching from you there?
No, absolutely.
Great.
I'm available 7 days a week, so
wow.
Come check me out.
And we'll enjoy the football season, too. It's Coach Carlton Valentine. He is the coach at Lansing Sexton, but also available to you at the Michigan Athletic Club. He's got a son at Oakland University, another one coming to the Spartans. And Greg Johnson, you're right. It's going to be a lot of fun. Enjoy Chicago, and we'll talk again Friday.
Thanks a lot.
All the best to you. We'll read him in the Grand Rapids Press. It's 18 after the